So I need to thank everybody for coming or watching the replay and for continuing to learn to maximize your wellness with your doTERRA products. This is our Fun Zoom monthly education program, and our next Fun Zoom will be February 14th, a very special day. So we need you all to stay muted during the short presentations today, but stay with us for personal Q&A after. Those will not be recorded and will be answered very honestly. We're going to start a little differently today with Dr. Marie and then following with Sandy and then me closing it out. But Marie, take it over.
Terrific. Thank you, Roxanne. Always such a pleasure to be here with you, lovely ladies, and everybody that joins us. So, I have the honor of talking about the 90-day reset that doTERRA is now speaking about. And I'm going to post a little video of it later on my Holistic Health New Hampshire page too. But it's so interesting because in it, Laura Jacobs talks about intestinal gardening. And I meant to look last night. I got this book. This book is from 1934. Okay. It's called Intestinal Gardening. And I've had this book for probably 50 years, and it's all about your gut biome. And he talks about it the same way Laura does in a way, 50 years, or no, more than 1938, so many years ago. And so when I heard that, it's like, wow, but so much of what he talks about too is our health is in, our plants and all of those kinds of things, which I don't think we're doing so great as a society of protecting some of them right now. So I love that Laura related to that because it's so important, which I'll talk about. But I would be remiss to say that if people think they're going to go on a 90-day reset, continue with bad habits, and expect to feel better, that I wouldn't be totally honest that you're going to get really great results with it. If you're eating crappy, not sleeping well, not exercising, sitting on the couch all day, or whatever you might be doing, you're not going to get kidney. We have to put some skin in the game. And it's about personal responsibility and discipline, which is one of the big things that they talk about in this. And I thought Laura Jacobs did a brilliant job. So they're breaking it down into 3 months. So quickly, I'll just cover what the first month is about. So the first part is like a purpose, and the purpose of it is to reset. Okay. So as she talks about, if our gut is like our garden soil, if we're not taking care of our soil in the fall, our expected outcome of our garden in the spring and summer isn't going to be as fruitful as we might have hoped. So if we aren't taking care of the garden in our belly, then we also aren't going to have the benefits of that. And we all know, I've said this before, that our gut is our second brain, and they all communicate. And especially now in the winter here in New England, we need to up our game because it's easy for people to go into states of maybe not so happy. So anyways, we need to reset that. And if we have weeds growing in the garden, we need a weed pull or whatever to pull them out, right? So if we're ingesting things, white sugar, things that we know aren't very good for our body, we might need to think about, options if you need something sweet, like maybe maple syrup or a local raw honey or stevia or, something else. But we have to look at everything that we're putting in is exactly the results that we're going to get output wise. And if we aren't eating, and most people, I love the new food pyramid. Oh my goodness. I'm all about protein and all of that. I saw that and I'm like, yes, when John Hopkins a couple years ago had put out something, they put Fruit Loops for breakfast. I'm like, holy moly, that's ridiculous. So good news we have a good solid food pyramid, which we need to pay attention to that because the quality of what we're putting in is also important. But I believe that there's no way, with the toxins in the air and so much going on in our world today, that we can just in our food. And as clean as I eat as well, I take a dish full of supplements every day. And there's a reason that I'm staying healthy, that almost 72, I've got vigor and energy and continue to do what I do. And I know it's with the help of the doTERRA supplements that I do. But anyways, so just as plants grow, some grow faster than others. Tomatoes, you have some that are going to produce fruit at 64 days, some later. The same with the benefits of what we get in. Depending on this weeding that we're doing in our intestinal gut, a lot of that's going to depend on where you're beginning with that, how long you're going to get to see the results. Roxanne, I know you eat really clean. I'm not sure if Sandy eats as clean as you. None of us probably eat as clean as you, but you're going to see results quicker than somebody that's really got to detox a lot of the heavy metals and things that are stored in our liver and our kidneys. Excuse me. So if we look at skin cells replenish every 28 days. Cellular mitochondria, which is the brain, every 2 to 3 months. Your red blood cells reproduce 128 days. So we're constantly renewing ourselves. So by cleaning and resetting and all of these things is part of the purpose if we want to live a long life, right? So that's part of this 3-month program in that purpose. So the first month is to build a routine, to prioritize. If we don't get into a routine, we're going to fall away. I see it all the time with my clients. You got to just kind of set it up. If you can't remember to take your supplements or whatever, put them someplace that you're going to remember. How are you going to build on your lifestyle if you're not making it a priority? People will say to me, oh, I don't have time to do that. Really? And I think one time, a couple years ago, Bob and I timed how long it took me to put all of our supplements and make my capsules in a dish was 33 seconds. So in 33 seconds, I supported every organ and every system in my body. If I can't take 33 seconds for myself and make that a priority and a main purpose, then I'm in trouble. Then the second month is going to be about maintaining those rhythms. And the third month is really building on that lifestyle. One of the analogies I use is if you walk 20 miles in the woods, you walk 20 out, right? So again, depending on where you are, you've got to come back and redo all of that. So one of the studies, and I said this before, but I heard it again from Laura, in newborn umbilical cord, they found 230 industrial toxins in a newborn baby. So when I hear that research to me is pretty staggering. So that tells me what's going on in those mothers in that study. I want to read the whole study. I don't want to read a little bit of a study, so I'm on a hunt looking for it. And I have my own beliefs of how some of those heavy metals are getting into these babies' umbilical cords. But whatever. So I wonder, what are we doing and how are we rebuilding our body? Okay. So, there's always different blocks. And, I talk with clients a lot. Excuse me. I don't know where I got this frog today. I apologize. You got to have good bowel activity. And they talk about in this first month, hopefully that in some of the supplements that you're using, because it should be processed every 12 hours. So if you think we should be having 2 BMs a day, I have people sometimes that haven't gone all week. I think, oh my gosh, those toxins in your body are crazy. So we need, obviously, that person needs to hydrate more, needs to have increased fiber, things like that, So that's how we're storing some of this stuff, which would be the weeds in our garden. So it's so imperative, to take care of that. And you can see it sometimes in people's faces and stuff. I see, and I'd like to go up to them and say, hey, when was the last time, but obviously you can't do that, right? But so many times I'm tempted, my husband will say, Marie, but whatever. So we need to really look at, all of those kinds of things. So in the first month, the recommendation is the VMG, which is the whole foods, vitamins, and minerals. Great for detoxing enzymes, that aren't being supportive, adding different enzymes, liver. Good morning, come in. And then the EO omegas, they incorporate into our cell membrane, right? So it improves fluidity and communication and a healthy inflammatory response. And one time I was on with Docs Without Borders, and there was a neurologist, and he said, we're all heading for Alzheimer's. It just depends on how we're being catapulted to there because it's the inflammation in our body and our brain that brings us there. So it is imperative. One of the biggest things for me is keeping inflammation down in the body. Okay. And with the EO omegas, they're great for that. The PB Restore is a supplement that supports the integrity of the gut lining. And we all know that we need that. And it helps prepare the microbiome for that deep detoxification, which is part of the purpose and the reset of the first month of this program. The Mito 2 Max. My husband loves the Mito 2 Max. I don't take it myself. Oh, there you go. Perfect. He loves it, but I make sure I give it to him at noontime and no later because it is the way it works. It's, plant extracts and metabolic cofactors and such, and it increases your stamina, decreases the fatigue, obviously. So if you're concerned about that, just don't take it too late in the day. So I would recommend my cutoff would be if you know you're getting a slump around noontime, 1 o'clock, that would be the time for you to take it. And it's going to be different for everybody. So we all know, after we try something, how it's good for us. And then the Revitazen, I don't know if I said that right, but that's the detoxification blend. And it provides, thank you, Roxanne, a synergistic essential oil cofactors that helps a whole system-wide detoxification. And that's what I like about that one in particular, because it's a multi-system. We are multi-systemed. And if we think we're going to do one at a time, it doesn't work that way because that synergistic effect, we all work together, right? And I love that because milk thistle is one of my favorite herbs for liver. It's got artichoke leaf extract, black cumin seed, which is fabulous. And then, of course, the cumin essential oil, which I just love. And that helps supports heavy lipid, metabolism and gut function and all of that. So, according to any of the preclinical trials, anyway, so far, and I've read some of them, which are pretty exciting. So that's a big whole lot of mouthful about purpose and reset. And we're excited. We're going to be doing it. I have my order in, and we're going to do the whole 3-month process. And I'm excited about that because I strongly believe that if we aren't taking care of our garden and our gut, it's not going to be good. And I need to live to be at least 100. So I'm going for it. So my DIY today, just because I've been treating so many folks with sore throats and all these different things, is a mixture of tea tree oil, lemon oil, and one of my favorites that nobody should be without this time of year is On Guard. And just put a few drops in with some water and a gargle. Excellent. Excellent for immunity boosting. Now, one thing I quickly want to say too, can you guys see this little tiny brush? This is one of those. And this is the brand here. It's Gum. And you can get these on a 6-pack on Amazon. But what I like to do with these, and look this up. I love for people to research themselves too. Our gums are the gateway of our body. And each tooth is related to particular organs in our body, which is really exciting. So Roxanne, I'm serious, look it up. It's fun. So if I'm thinking about each tooth, right, and what it's associated with in my body, so I every day take a little of the On Guard mouthwash after I've brushed my teeth with the toothpaste, right? Then I've got a little bit of the mouthwash sitting down here, and I take this little brush because it gets into places that your big toothbrush can't. And I go over every single tooth inside and out. And I used to have like bleeding gums and all that. I don't anymore at all once I started this protocol. So I recommend if you want good gut health, where's it start? In our mouth, right? So if we aren't starting here, sorry to say, folks, it's not going to get down there. So this you could do the same thing with. If you have pockets in your throat or anything, I'm sure you can talk about that after, but highly recommend these guys. And with that said, my blessings to you all. I have to run to my mozzarella class, but I will catch up with you soon and take care, everyone.
And Marie, you might want to join the 90-day reset BMG team Facebook group.
Okay,
It'll be very helpful during the 90-day reset and
excellent.
encourage everyone else to do it too.
Excellent. I will get that up. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Blessings to you all.
Thank you,
Bye-bye
Marie.
now. You're
Thanks,
very
Marie.
welcome.
Have a good
Bye.
class.
Thank you. Hi, honey. Right there, right there. Yes, yes.
Okay, Sandy.
Good morning, everybody. I know she's already gone, but I have to thank Marie. She inspires me every time I hear her. I wish we lived closer so that I could be part of all of her classes. But I love listening to her on Zoom because she is just filled with inspiration for me. So thank you so much, everybody, for hopping on this Zoom, whether you're watching it live or you're catching the replay. I'm excited to start out this year by sharing two of doTERRA's most essential tools for feeling your best from the inside out. And I'm going to repeat a little bit about what Marie already said, because one of the things I'm going to be talking about is the RevitaZen. But I'll also be talking about our DigestZen oil blend, which is also called the Tummy Tamer, along with our RevitaZen capsules and oil. Together, these are your secret weapons for managing everything from heavy holiday meals and sweets to your body's daily detoxification. So let's start with DigestZen, also known as the Tummy Tamer. And this is definitely a fan favorite. But it also is our product of the month for January. So if your order is 125 PV and you get it in by the 15th of the month, this is a free gift for you, the 5 ml size bottle. I love these. And I love that the doTERRA has made this the habit that our product of the month is some of our regular line 5 ml size, because now I have all my travel size bottles to take with me wherever I go. If you've been using doTERRA for more than 5 minutes, you have probably heard of this one, which means simply that no one else serves up this recipe. It is proprietary for doTERRA. It is a combination of ginger, peppermint, caraway, coriander, anise, tarragon, and fennel. So why do we love this? First of all, it's immediate relief. It is famous for its ability to soothe your occasional stomach upsets. Bloating and gas, DigestZen helps to reduce that too full feeling after a heavy meal. And motion sickness, it's a lifesaver for long car rides or flights. I'm wondering how you might have gotten help from this one, Roxanne, during your 3-day marathon drive last week. So you may ask, how do I use this? Well, I'm glad you asked. You can take it internally, just add a drop to 4 ounces of water or tea and drink it down. You can use it topically, rub 1 to 2 drops directly on your stomach. Remember to dilute it with fractionated coconut oil for kids or sensitive skin. I almost always dilute just to prevent sensitizing my skin with frequent use. So I love using the DigestZen roller. This is always in my bathroom. It's part of my daily routine to roll it around my belly before I get dressed in the morning. And I'm going to give you a little tip, and I know that I have mentioned this before if you've listened to us before. I am a great one for repurposing things. So if you don't have the DigestZen Touch roller, but you want to make one by using your free DigestZen oil this month, take an empty roller bottle. And this morning, I actually finished off one of my other favorites, Claricalm. And I am a great one for repurposing things. I hate to just throw things away. I think Roxanne will agree. We learned that from our mother. She always looked at everything and said, now what can I use this for in its second life? So remember, when you empty a roller of doTERRA's, these labels peel right off so easy. I went and I just started peeling it off this morning, and I thought, I'm going to show you how simple this is. I now have an empty roller bottle that I can just rinse out. It really doesn't even have any sticky residue on it from that old label. So if you don't have empty roller bottles, look at some of the products that you're already using and think about repurposing some of those bottles when they empty out. Just a little quick tip. You can also use your DigestZen aromatically. Inhale that spicy, minty scent directly from the bottle to help with feelings of queasiness. I have recommended this blend to lots of pregnant patients over the years, a lot. So remember, like I said, this month you can get that 5 ml size bottle absolutely free. As the product of the month. And if you have questions about that, reach out to Roxanne or I. We've been doing it for years, and we really understand the product of the month program pretty well. So let's move on now to beyond the stomach, to our new heavy hitter, the Revitazen and Plus Advanced Organ Detox Blend, and the Revitazen Oil Blend. So while DigestZen handles the digestion of your food, Revitazen Plus focuses on your body's filters, your liver, kidneys, and your colon. Think of it as a gentle daily maintenance for your body's internal cleaning system. Not a harsh cleanse that keeps you running to the bathroom. Revitazen Plus is designed to be safe for daily use, which I love. Now, what makes these capsules so special is the dual chamber technology. And if you've been using some of the other doTERRA supplements, you have seen this before. It's a capsule within a capsule. So it combines the potent botanical extracts with essential oils all at once in this beautiful system. It's effective for combining these important components so that you're not taking a powder and then you're taking oils. You're just swallowing this simple capsule. It makes life a whole lot easier. As Marie mentioned, it contains milk thistle and artichoke. These are superstars for liver health and bile flow. Black cumin seed oil provides massive antioxidant support. And she also mentioned the cumin oil, too, as really a heavy hitter. And the Revitazen Essential Oil Blend contains tangerine, rosemary, geranium, juniper berry, cilantro, and ginger. These oils support your kidneys and help your body to process the environmental stressors that your body is faced with every day. So if you're wondering, do I need both DigestZen and the Revitazen Duo, the oil and the capsules? My answer is absolutely yes. And here is how they work in harmony. DigestZen is your right now solution. You use it when you have an upset stomach, gas, bloating, or you're about to eat a big old pepperoni pizza. Revitazen Plus is your everyday solution. You take one capsule with a meal once or twice a day. to ensure that your liver and your kidneys aren't getting overwhelmed by the toxins in our modern world. And you can add a drop of the oil blend to your water or tea to drink throughout the day, or add it to your diffuser to inhale those benefits and promote your body's natural detox processes. So the result, it's better energy, clearer skin, and a much happier gut. And here are a few quick tips for success. So in the morning, take one Revitazen capsule with your breakfast to kickstart your detox pathways for the day. In the afternoon and the evening, keep your DigestZen roller or your bottle in your bag or nearby, and use it after lunch or dinner if you're feeling any discomfort or any bloating. And hydrate. Both of these products work best when you're drinking plenty of water. So for 2026, cheers to a happy tummy and a clean system. Now for my DIY, you don't need to go out and buy any fancy herbal teas. Here is a simple recipe for the Tummy Tamer tea. It is perfect for evening relaxation or after a heavy meal. So simply take one drop of your DigestZen oil blend, and then you can add one drop of another oil that you like. And there are lots of choices. You can add lemon. You can add wild orange if you want to add a little bit of sweetness to your tea. If you're like me, I am a lover of cinnamon. I love adding a drop of cinnamon oil to lots of things that I'm drinking. Or be creative. You might have another oil like tangerine that you are really drawn to. Add another oil, and this is optional. It's really just for the flavor. Then you're going to add a teaspoon of raw honey and about 8 ounces of warm water, not boiling, because you want to preserve the properties of your oils. By putting them in boiling water, you might be destroying some of their goodness. So warm water with your honey and your oils, stir it all up in your warm water, sip it slowly to soothe your digestive tract, and enjoy that calming aroma of ginger and fennel. Happy New Year, and may your new habits to support your body's systems bring you the results that you are seeking. Now, I usually hand you off to Dr. Marie, but today I'm going to hand you over to Roxanne to continue.
Thank you so much, Sandy. That was excellent. And that Revitazen, I have found since I've been using it since October, has really helped my regularity a great deal. So I have a few different things to talk about today. And one is that our 200 PV free frankincense is continuing as supplies last through January 15th. I don't know about you, but frankincense is probably the doTERRA oil that I could never ever give up, ever. And I make sure I always have plenty on hand. Now, doTERRA understands how much of an investment holistic products can be, even when you know they're worth it for yourself and those around you. That's why they've created the Healthy 100, a promotion for new members and returning customers who haven't ordered in a year that makes it easier to take that crucial step. Here's how the promo works. In January, anybody who becomes a first-time customer or a returning customer who hasn't placed an order for a year, they place their initial order of 100 PV or more. That's this month. Then in February, those same customers place rewards orders of at least 100 PV. And remember, rewards can be managed very easily now online since doTERRA made that change probably a couple of months ago. And in March, what happens is, I believe it's after March 15th, they will receive 100 free product points. That's really $100 of product that you can use in the future. How good is that? $100. It's easy and effective, and that's how they do it at doTERRA. So between now and February, you would be in good shape to make a list of things that are available at doTERRA that you would normally buy at another store. Things for oral care, hair care, skin, cleaning, supplements, and of course, replenishing your oils. I or your enroller can help you with pros and cons of each product as well. And of course, you can skip a month or cancel your rewards right online too, where it says manage near your next rewards order on your web page. And always log in with your number and your own password to get absolutely your wholesale pricing. Now, the Double Fast Start is another new promotion. There's all kinds of promotions this month. A Double Fast Start is a new promotion for anyone who enrolls somebody else for the first time with 3 100 PV enrollments, which means getting someone started, having their own account at 100 PV. So what the Double Fast Start means is that for that wellness advocate, and you have to be a wellness advocate to do this, it means instead of getting just your 20% commission, you would get 40%. So once you hit those 300 PV enrollments, everything you did for enrolling since you started this month or next month, it's going for the next 3 months. Wow, worth doing for these next 3 months. Now, another new thing this month is a new renewal thank you oil. It used to always be peppermint for many, many years, and then they switched it up to supermint, and now the new renewal thank you oil is rosemary. Rosemary is such a great oil. This is an oil you want when you want to refresh, alleviate some issues, or clear things up. What does that mean? Well, all types of fatigue, mental or physical, or head tension, respiratory stuff, especially loss of smell. It'll be a key oil for that. Boost your focus and memory. Is your guy dealing with prostate issues or frequent nighttime urination? Rosemary can help. Or do you know anyone with dizziness or circulation oddities? What about loss or thinning hair, oily hair, or those pesky white flakes that fall onto our collar or our pillow? Are your muscles feeling tired or weak? Do you have that big toe soreness issue? I can't say the medical term for that. Rosemary acts like a natural steroid. It helps the liver and the kidneys a lot. It can also help with low dopamine levels, which would include mood swings, lack of motivation, concentration problems, sleep difficulties, and reduced pleasures with life. All these things, of course, can be caused by certain health issues as well as stress, poor diet, drug use, and that could include medication use, and sleep deprivation. So, rosemary sounds like it's too good to be true, right? How am I capitalizing on getting rosemary into and on me? I'm using it in my daily salad dressing I put on my salads, which I make myself with extra virgin olive oil, a little balsamic vinegar, a little mustard, a little bit of water, and my oils of choice, which I tend to always use rosemary. How did I intuitively know it would be this good for me? I also add it to my shampoo bottle. I usually will put in about a 12-ounce bottle, I'll put maybe 6 to 8 drops of rosemary right in there. I will smell rosemary frequently. I'm adding it to my Epsom salt soak nightly. Yay for rosemary. And you know what? That brings me back to that wonderful memory of Tuscany when Sandy and I went on a yoga retreat, and all around the pool, I believe it was Tuscany, there was a lovely rosemary hedge all around the pool. They must know a lot about rosemary's benefits too. And if you have any other ideas for rosemary, please let me know because I'm all about learning more stuff. The next thing I want to tell you about is there are no longer any 10% off products that doTERRA will be promoting. That has to do with the commitment of doTERRA for a couple of big things, to being more sustainable and focusing on long-term promotions rather than a single monthly discounted item. It also allows them to manage costs more effectively associated with sourcing high quality ingredients, which can be very expensive. Of course, we will still have BOGOs, rewards, free products of the month, consistent wholesale pricing, and limited time offers, however, to help our pocketbooks. Are you questioning the value of the 90-day reset? I know I've been sending out emails about it, and I've been posting on Roxanne's doTERRA family, and I've been trying to get the word out. Here are some testimonials. I, for one, am very excited for all I believe will happen to me personally doing this 90-day reset. Partly because I was so blown away by how good I felt after just a 30-day cleanse the year after I started using doTERRA products in 2013. It was then I quit refined sugar for good and have maintained that for the past 11 years. I am very grateful for that, especially now with the new dietary pyramid that RFK just came out with. I know that's why I feel as good as I do. Imagine what I will feel like after this improved program. This 90-day reset is taking that old cleanse program that we all used to do at least once a year, pretty much, and they've totally improved it so that in the first month you are getting your internal garden ready to repopulate with healthy bacteria, healthy habits, as well as good routines with our important supplements. And from all I've heard, this program is not just for us aging people. I listened to a mom of three high schoolers the other day on a Zoom I was part of, and they happened to wrestle. Two of them are girls. And they all three of them rely on VMG Plus right before they wrestle every day. Her freshman son just won a huge tournament recently. Her girls are both seniors and wrestling girls in heavier weight classes than they are. They are having a ball. Other testimonial stories are equally important. There's a young woman who, still in her 20s, has not had a period for 5 years after intense cancer treatment, but wants to get pregnant. 5 years ago, she said, I underwent chemo treatments for leukemia, which left me with no menstrual cycle and my hormones completely out of balance. I decided to try the 90-day Renew You program, and it has been life-changing. For the first time since treatment, my hormones seem to be leveling out, and I even had my first cycle. This program has given me so much hope that one day I might be able to have a baby. I am beyond grateful for this journey for healing and restoration. Another wellness advocate I know reports a man in his 60s who started out saying the products were expensive. But his wife now takes the foundational wellness products with no concern for cost. Instead, both are committed. And they're saying, since beginning the 90-day reset, I've seen incredible results. Overall cholesterol went from 238 to 191, LDLs from 170 to 134, triglycerides from 121 to 62, and VLDL, very low density lipoprotein, from 22 to 11. Now his HDL, his good cholesterol, went from 46 to 49. We want our highs getting higher and our lows getting lower. They added clary sage, thyme, and rosemary in month 3 for his hormone health, and his PSA dropped from 14 to 11 in just 1 month alone. And now, 6 months later, his PSA is normal. And that's a critical biomarker for you know what. Now, from another wellness advocate, saying this guy had the worst skin issues I've ever seen in my life. His hands were coming off in layers. He's been dealing with terrible digestive issues for 6 months. He said, I've been struggling with a severe skin issue for over a year and felt like nothing was working. Then I started the 90-day Renew You program, and it completely changed everything for me. The cleanse helped me tremendously, and I felt so amazing throughout the process. After completing the first 90 days, I decided to start it over again to ensure this issue was completely taken care of. I can't express how grateful I am for this program and the impact it has had on my health. I never want to be without my MetaPower collagen and vitamins. Then there's a woman age 49 who says, who really wants to talk about poop? Well, apparently it is common when talking about health. My entire life, I've had very slow moving bowels. I can relate to that. I have tried elimination diets, extra water, no coffee, extra coffee, more greens, less gluten, you name it, I've tried it. I didn't know it was odd to eliminate only 2 to 3 times a week if I was lucky. I've walked myself through multiple cleanses at least twice a year, if not more. Things always got worse, then only slightly better. Then I started the doTERRA 90-day reset. It has changed my life. I no longer live daily life feeling bloated or full and uncomfortable. The use of the Revitazen, both the oil and the capsules, were an integral part of my healing. You know, being backed up never really fazed me much other than an occasional bigger belt needed. But now that I know there is a difference, important health difference too, I do not ever want to go back. I use the VMG, Terrazyme, and the Revitazens every single day. Of course, now I use other doTERRA products as well, but I do not forgo these staples. I am grateful for the opportunity to learn, change, and feel so much better. Thank you, doTERRA. I have another a little bit longer story, and another actual couple stories, but we can do that in our Q&A. I don't want this to go on too long. So my challenge to everybody is, what will you be willing to do to help yourself feel your best? And ordering month 1 of the 90-day reset is simple because doTERRA, if you just put 90-day reset in your search bar of your shopping bag, it will pop up. And all it does is it adds to the foundational wellness bundle of VMG, Omegas, and Restore just Mito 2 Max and Revitazen. And that will get you, I think, 172 PV. So adding just one other product like maybe the castor oil, which I am loving, or maybe a rosemary oil might be all it takes for you to get your free frankincense, which you would pay $79 for if you couldn't get it for free. So a reminder, our next fun Zoom is February 14th, and now I am going to stop the recording and we are going to do some private